Castles were built in the 9th century. Most of them were used for 3 reasons. They were used as a military point of view, where they were great for defense and fortresses and so on. 2, they could have been for administrative reasons, for a royal to create them for showing power, wealth, and strength. Or 3, they could have been designed for architectural means, showing once again the wealth of the king of his land and so on. This shows different types of reasons why these castles may have been built, but how were they constructed? I want to put this into a different perspective. Let's say you and I, around the 13th century, are trying to look for a place to place our castle, to show of wealth, but also to show of military strategy. So as a queen, we're looking for a place that could help defend our home, but also show how much wealth and strength we have by its artistic value. So first off, we're going to find a place. This can be near a cliffside or even near sometimes water. But if we really want to get a decent castle, we may have to do our own terraforming in flat lands to then rise our castle up and create what is known as a moat. This moat is a very good decisive way to slow down other armies that are sieging upon our building. Since we now figured out about the land, now we need to figure out the type of item we're going to use. We can go with timber like the Monte and Bailey castle, that's utilized having one castle from the top of a cliff and then going down with a village. This was a very primitive type of castle, but it was a type of thing that was done during around that time. Another thing that we could of course evolve into is we could just go immediately to stone using what is known as the hewn rock. I hope I said that correctly. We can use this rock and use it as a way to use for stone and build up our castle, like the typical medieval times. Depending if we have that wealth, and we can buy what are known as stone masons. Stone masons were traveling types of people, and many times they would show up with their masters, and you can hire a whole bunch of them to near then help design the castle for you using loopholes and different types of sticks and trying to create a basic structure of what our castle is going to look like. We'll need also a quarry so we have enough rocks and stone to use for our castle. Now the height of our castle can be whatever really. The largest castle that is really known is Prague's castle that can go around 1,000 feet. And there's even humongous ones like the Chipstow castle that is massive and big in size. But we're going to say relative and keep our walls around 10 meters tall. We've nearly then changed our lands to nearly create a moat, and now we have our stonemasons to create and design and engineer their stone works of arts. We're going to have varieties of tools here. We're also going to use a treadmill crane to pick up other varieties of stones when we get much higher and higher with our building. We're also going to create an archway, so our stonemasons are going to have to carve a type of archway that can be usable. We're also going to have, of course, our own type of mechanical gate that we can use with pulleys. After we do varieties of these different types of building techniques, we're going to have our castle in no time. Now, a castle also consists of a keep. Our keep is basically where we're going to live and where the royalties are going to be around as a queen. After this, we're going to have 2 different baileys, an inner bailey and outer bailey. We're also going to have our tower walls and even our drum towers. We're going to maybe situate one of our catapults on top of this, so we're going to make our towers pretty, have a flat top. And so we're going to situate our catapults just in case if incoming invaders come around, we can shoot our catapults from there. We're also going to have a tavern or even a place for our horses to stay as well. After we do this, we will have officially our own castle. Castles were built mainly for royalty, and so as of course we are royals who've just built our castle. Villages may come in and build around our castle for maybe safety or something like that. Or as a queen, we built around villages around us. It really just depends of how we built this and why we built it for the reasons we did it for. And of course, same goes for the other castles that were also built. Castles have so many different purposes. Some of them were used as fortresses and some were used for other reasons like artillery. But for my own opinion, I think that from what I know of the Bronze Age, of how fortresses were usually built, and villages would come to there and build upon the fortress, for protection or something of another, which would later spawn into empires. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same way with also these castles. Castles are still being built around, of course, the 1800s, even though they kind of die out. This neo-medievalism architecture is very famous for what we know of nostalgia. Just like the King Arthur stories when they came back, just the idea of nostalgia, like, hey, I know these stories, became a very popular thing. The same goes for neoclassical architecture that was built for, of course, the nostalgia of the classical period. It's really interesting to read about how these castles were constructed. I'm going to leave a castle building one from France. They're building a castle in the modern times with actual tools that were used in the medieval times. As including, I'm also going to leave a couple of some sources if you want to read more into or learn more in depth into what castles construction was like or more of. The last thing is, I hope you guys like and subscribe to my channel and send it to somebody who also really likes castles as well, or any time of the medieval period. And also give the people who are building that castle in France a like and subscribe as well. Thank you guys for watching. I'm heading out. Bye.